Hi, and welcome to my program on balancing feminine and masculine energy. So, before we get into the real work in the modules, I just wanted to talk to you briefly about some of the main principles that we're going to use in this program. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go inwards, we're going to reflect inwards into ourselves, and we're going to become curious about the different sides of us. So a lot of the work in this program is developed from my experience as a schema therapist, where I really learned how to identify the different parts of us, or the different sides, or the different modes, and how to spot which modes are healthy and in line with our true values, and which modes are more wounded type energies and require a lot of attention and soothing. And then which modes of us are more protective armor that actually block intimacy and get in the way of true connection. So in this program, you're going to learn a lot about which sides of you are more healthy and which sides of you are more protective or armored or wounded. And the reason why I use feminine and masculine balance is because it's such a beautiful, simple concept. There's only two things that you really ever need to remember, and that is, do I need to bring more healthy feminine energy into this moment, or do I need to bring more healthy masculine energy into this moment? So this very much ties in with the beautiful yin-yang balance of ancient Chinese approaches to health and vitality. It also ties in a lot with Carl Jung's work on individuation and wholeness, and the idea that we are all made up of feminine and masculine parts that just need to be integrated in the individual person, and then we can bring our greatest gifts into our intimate relationships. And we can also play around with polarity, going deeper into feminine energy whilst a partner goes deeper into their masculine energy, or the other way around. So what I want to present to you now before we get started on the modules is 4 quadrants of feminine relating, so that you can start to look at these different sides of you, these different parts, and recognize which sides are more dominant in your life, in your relationships, and which sides you'd like to bring out more of in your life. All right, so here we have these 4 quadrants of feminine relating. So this information is going to be so important to you as you go through this program, because you're going to get familiar with these different sides of you. You're going to be able to spot which one you're in much more easily. Okay, so what we have here is feminine energy on the left-hand axis. So the 2 modes or quadrants up the top would represent sides of us that are more high in expressed feminine energy. And we're going to talk about exactly what feminine energy is as we go through the program. And the 2 quadrants that are in the bottom of the graph here are low on feminine energy. So there's maybe an absence of feminine energy expressed in the relationship, or at least obvious to other people. All right, and so then on the bottom axis, we have the felt age of these different sides of us. So the modes that are on the left-hand side feel young in age, and then the modes on the right-hand side feel more adult in their age. And each of these 4 quadrants also have a corresponding life position that we could make links to transactional analysis. I'm okay, you're okay. All right, so let's unpack each of these modes so you can start to get a feeling for how much of the time you might be connected to any one of these 4 types of feminine relating. All right, so let's start with the youthful lover. When we're in this mode, we take the life position that I'm okay and you're okay. So we feel safe within ourselves and we feel safe with a partner. So this youthful lover mode feels young, vibrant, flirtatious, maybe seductive, sassy, coquettish, like a young woman, regardless of our age. It feels expansive, maybe romantic or exciting when we connect to this side of our feminine energy. And the reason why I say that this side is ageless, although it feels young, is that I've seen 70-year-old women fully connected to this mode. And I've seen also women in their mid-20s who have disconnected from this side of themselves due to trauma, conditioning, and unhealed wounds. When we're connected to this side of us, we enjoy the feeling of surrendering to the lead of our partner, because we sense the presence of their healthy masculine energy, which allows us to fully embody the polarity of our own aliveness or feminine energy. So, what I mean by that is the more we can sense healthy, solid, masculine energy in a partner, the more it feels free to let go of any masculine armor, any need for control, any need for caution or planning or thinking ahead. And we just fully surrender to the moment and express what we're truly feeling in that moment. And the more and more we get in touch with this side of us, the more alive it feels and the more invigorating it feels and the more safe it feels to bring this side into our intimate relationships, which is a massive source of energy in the relationship. So this side of us can be cheeky, maybe enjoy teasing or seducing a partner into playful moments of fun. And sometimes this could be an invitation into more intimate moments of connection. But it's never with the goal of manipulating or controlling her partner or from a place of powerlessness, as it's purely coming from a place of experiencing the beauty and fun that arises in us when around our partners. So there's nothing put on about being in this mode. There's no performance, and there's no concern about what the other person might be thinking or preoccupation with how we're being perceived. It's more just a true expression of the energy that is coming through our bodies in that moment. So the next mode in relationships that I want to talk about is the mature companion. So when we're connected to this side of us, we also take the life position of I'm okay, you're okay. All right, so when we're in this mode, it feels deeply satisfying. There's so much contentment, security, gratitude, and optimism to be experienced from this mode. When we catch ourselves in this mode, we may feel like pinching ourselves and saying, how did I get so lucky? When we think about the chances of meeting our partner and creating a life of love and stability. So this is a very loyal side of us, very nurturing, has a lot of love to give, and just feels very stable and content within our own lives and in the relationship. So I just want to add that, even if there's an absence of sexual intimacy between a couple, as time goes on and we get older, perhaps that side of the relationship may diminish. But the gifts of relating and connecting to someone as a mature companion is deeply fulfilling and rewarding and life sustaining, and what many couples may only dream of in this lifetime. So if you're a woman in your 60s and you feel like the youthful lover side of you is long gone, that doesn't mean that you cannot bring this beautiful feminine energy into your relationships in the form of this mature companion. All right, so the next mode of feminine relating is the wounded girl. And this side of us takes the life position of I'm not okay, but you're okay. All right, so when we're triggered in our relationships, we feel unsafe and powerless. So we will contract, shrink, or hide ourselves from our partner in the same way that we might have reacted in childhood. And we feel weak, vulnerable in the negative sense, alone and anxious. At the same time, we view our partners as more superior, competent, or successful with all the answers, and view them as having the confidence and resources that we don't have but wish we did. So you can see it's a really disempowered state because we're looking up to our partners as if they are better or stronger than us. So, in this wounded state, we feel so hurt and angry that we do not feel safe to express our joy. Therefore, feminine energy cannot be expressed. So, some common accompanying issues that go with this wounded girl energy or mode include an anxious, preoccupied attachment style, low self worth or defectiveness shame, self silencing and conflict avoidance or subjugation, and codependency issues, including enmeshment, undeveloped self, or dependence, incompetence. So these are all childhood patterns or schemas that develop at a very young age in our family of origin, and we can sometimes bring them into our relationships and they get activated whenever there's an unmet need in our relationship with a partner. So, the missing piece for many women that I coach in their intimate relationships, as well as in my own experience previously, is our own healthy masculine energy. This has been missing. And our own healthy masculine energy actually is the one that we want to turn towards to provide internal support, backing, and solutions when it's not available to us from a partner. Now, that's not to say that we don't want to experience healthy masculine energy coming from our partners. But the quickest way for that to happen in a relationship is to demonstrate that we have our own source of healthy masculine energy. Now, a truly masculine energy partner is going to witness our own empowered masculine energy, and they are going to recognize that that is their gift that they most want to embody in the relationship and not have their partner doing all the hard work. So this is what we're going to work on in this program, helping you to detect times where it may be more appropriate to go inwards and draw from your own internal healthy masculine energy when that is not forthcoming from your partner. All right, so finally we have the armored lady. So this is an adult feeling side of us, but it takes the life position of I'm okay, but you're not okay. So when we're in this mode or when we've got armor on, it feels safe to us because we view ourselves as the superior one or the one that's in control, and our partner as the more inferior one. But this will diminish a partner's masculine energy over time and their confidence, and they'll lose their inspiration to protect and support us, as we are too busy occupying a more superior or unhealthy or competitive masculine position. Also, there's a lack of feminine energy when we're in this mode because the healthy feminine in us actually just wants a playmate in her sandpit alongside of her, not someone beneath her that she can judge and feel righteous and superior around, or even someone that she does not consider to be a friend on her level. So, some common accompanying problems when we're too much in this mode include an avoidant attachment style, rigidity or emotional inhibition, perfectionism or achievement addiction, in other words, unrelenting standards, people pleasing and compliance, recognition or admiration seeking, or entitlement. And these patterns are often underpinned by unaddressed control or trust issues, which we're going to take a look at in this program. All right, so there we have 4 quadrants of feminine relating and a description that accompanies each. Now, this is not to say that these are the only 4 modes that we would ever be in contact with in our lives and in our relationships, but it's a good starting point for you to just step back and have a look at these different energies or sides of us that we can bring to our interactions in any given moment, and look at where you may have been inhabiting one too much of the time in an unhealthy way, so that we can do some work in this program and start to activate your own inner masculine energy that's going to support you and your emotional expression and your safety, so that you can bring more of your own feminine energy out into the world and in your relationship with a partner.